uyoyika kuqala when you know okay, hey, there's this human being ezayo that's coming like in life, lapho ufuna bakhona, and then also now uzibetha ngenye responsibility trying to like uvale eza gap angaziva like ezinye indawo like endizivileyo izinto zivele zatshintsha man like drastically, and I think she was on labor the previous night. I wish my being done boy maybe. So being raised by a single parent, which is my mom, started affecting being we didn't have a source of income at all. There's gonna be an eviction if you don't pay within the next 7 days. So people will be Nyango said, okay, time is up. Like his does even if he's but God is there in the midst of it. Just trust in God. Trust in God. Say we just trust in God. Like so no one is coming to save me. My mom is there as a backup.
I'm wondering, what version of you that no one gets to see? But before we start with the conversation yet, I know Guti, I want to start somewhere different today. I know there's a lot of people Abagwazio as a friend, Abagwazio as a neighbor, Abagwazio as maybe a colleague. But there's a little girl out there by the name of Eva who know you as Utatai. How did becoming a father change before?
That's actually a good one, because uyoyika kuqala when you know okay, hey, there's this human being ezayo that's coming. So you don't know what to expect. You don't feel ready like in life, and then also now I was better responsibility. But as I feel then indlela zakho ziqale utshintsha, you find a whole new reason to live. Izinto zenza with drive, passion, because you everything owenzayo uyenzela yena, you have to make it, you have to succeed, because kholo umuntu ufuna umkhulisa and you want them to be in a better space. Upbringing yakhe also, and also growing up without time, I guess, so trying to like uvale eza gap angaziva like ezinye indawo like endizivileyo during the absence of my father. So izinto zivele zatshintsha man like drastically, and then the focus, the lock-in, the goals, yonke into ingase like I have to make it, that drive, because there's this little one, and then to make it worse intombazana, so trying to survive ikasi so that you can get it out of ikasi.
So what's the biggest lesson that you learned about yourself by being Utataka Eve?
I learned that I can actually push more than I actually think I am capable of. You know, this is as much as I can do, this is as far as I can go. But after I became like Utaimaga Eva, and then I said, no, like I'm not pushing enough. Let me try and beat the odds, like in push more than like effort, and it was just possible. So I discovered that, okay, it's just the brain that tells me this is the limit, but you can actually go way far beyond London. And that is actually a great skill, and it's one layer about myself that you can actually go way further than the target that I'm actually aiming for.
Before she was born?
So I was basically a skater. I was mostly a skater doing a sport, planning for a chance to go play tennis. I used to have a lot of time, basically, that's what I'm trying to say. I used to have a lot of time on my hands. I was busy with the business as well, but like I had a lot of unoccupied time before, and I would sit at home when it's time to work in the but I would like balance and also having my spare time. But once I got comfortable and I started prioritizing more like my free time, go out skating, explore Yongelando. And then when she came, then I decided that this is too much time. I feel like I'm wasting a clash. So instead, let me just focus on try and get the sales up with business, so that I can always have a cash flow, so that it might also corner, because she's a responsibility. So no ready, and then especially when you have to always be ready. Anything happen, you have to have a mali on the land.
For sure. So the day she was born, how did you get the call? How did you know Guti? Today is the day.
So Mama Ake she went, I think she was on labor the previous night, and I was at work, done 7 at Crystal Towers, and then I was doing my business part-time, so I was doing a late shift in Century City, and then she called me that she is waiting for an ambulance. She feels like it's time. And then so I think 4 or 5 hours later, she told me that she just delivered a healthy baby girl. So that's how she broke the news. But I went to the hospital at the time I was at work, and I couldn't be there. But if like I had a chance, and I would have went to the hospital and then be there during the birth of her.
Okay. Excuse me a little. Sorry, Budam. Paul, still kubeka se record. So I sound ya overlap. It's basic on a phakathi. Sense ching all. Okay, you was kakua. So do you remember the feeling you had the first time you bumbamba Tom hold?
Yeah, that was one of the best moments. That first physical contact, because why too many pictures, and I was at work and I'm going to speak with photo and all of that, and then but I saw her after 3 days because I didn't have a chance because we were still up in Kailicha. So we are late 17, so I didn't have a chance, and I thought let me just wait for a weekend when I'm off. So I was off on that weekend, and then I calculated with my sister. So Safika Payan, and then we saw her, and then she was sleeping. So and it was just a beautiful moment. It was a beautiful moment. Also, Nizamufani Sauba, hey, because body because like I like like they are dark. Hey, but I think like her mom, my baby mother's mom, she saw that so she quickly said no, like like but and all of that. I'm like, okay, that is quite a relief. But it was a very, very blissful moment, like connection, and like, wow, you brought a human being, and just God is good because it's a healthy baby girl.
But when you look at her, what do you silently pray that she never experienced in this life?
It's especially growing up in Kailicha. From the moment she was born, like being I say, like I'm be around looking at his business like I say, looking at the GPV, rape, there is he matters the assaults, especially against abantu bangomama nabantu bangabafazi. So I wish maybe boy, maybe I wouldn't be as stressed as much, but it is very stressful because I will not always be there to look after her. So you life to make sure right, safe, abantu get abducted, there's human trafficking. So like I just wish I experienced none of those. If when was like umtata nimvalele like in that way whereby she's going to be safe, I would do that so that she doesn't get to experience the South Africa that we live in.
That's hectic. But when you look at her, what part of you do you see?
Are you referring to physical features,
maybe
or
personality, or maybe just the energy, or maybe?
I think it's her creative side. because my mom told me that when I drew Mandela, looking at Nelson Mandela, we portrait, and then I was doing homework. So I think I got tired of, because I'm doing numbers. When it comes to Ubala, the numbers and the and the vanning, so I was doing homework, and then instead of writing, I started drawing Landau, is equal to, whereby Fanman Fagi Sampa, and then I drew a picture of Mandela. So that one part. Upper with numbers, when we're doing homework when we're doing even the apps she gets tired so quickly. Just doing the pictures, then doing numbers is and I thought, so that part, but she is very creative. Also, if I'm teaching her how to draw, the draw and when I show her, and then she can try and copy that. So that's a good start.
Do you want to have more kids? Even do you have more?
She's my first baby girl. Yes, but I'm not married. Right, so I wouldn't say I want to have more kids, or I don't want to have more kids. But I would wish to have kids like maybe from this point on. But not anytime soon.
If maybe I were to call Eva and ask her to tell me about Utatake, what do you think she might say about when?
Oh, that's an interesting one. Mfonela and ask her
to tell me about your dad.
She's gonna tell you that cake, and then because I'm always like that, and then also like I play with her. I make sure that I try and play with her, but I feel good point where but I keep on playing, so I must stop working. So she would tell you that I think so. I think she would never miss Ezo. She just turned 6 years, first May. Yeah, so she's 6 years old.
Do you remember the things you were doing when you were 6 years?
6 years? Not at all. Actually, I don't have quite a memory, but my mom tells me I had to speak Afro. So in Afro, and then if you get in late in the old Lali motos
I used to have Afro now as a child. Yeah, and I had dreadlocks as well. Yeah, that's fine. Okay.
Yeah, so I think that's as far as I remember. That was my playful era as well.
So what lesson that you learned from your parents that you still carry today, or maybe that you still also pass to Eva?
So being raised by a single parent, which is my mom, so she has taught me so much. I cannot finish it like in one say or in one call, but I'll just try and sum it up. She's taught me so much, the resilience of life, being persistent, if you have a target, if you have a goal, you can reach that goal. Being consistent, never giving up, and also growing up with Christian household. My mom is a Christian, and she believes so much in Christianity and in Jesus. So the that everything is possible if you can kneel down and pray and ask for it. If your heart is sincere. So because God is there, God exists. So I also want my daughter to know that, because as I believe I wouldn't have made it if it wasn't my mom's prayers, if it wasn't for my prayers, being able to be sorry as well, when you are in situations whereby you don't see an escape plan, but knowing that God is there, God is always going to provide. So that this is about any challenges, but you will always overcome those challenges. So that is one thing that I would love to know, that whatever as a picking up life in, she will always overcome those situations.
What chapter of your life that you really want to relive? Which chapter of your life that you really want to to repeat or relive?
That I wouldn't want to repeat or relive. Let's see. So I think it's a chapter where when you say college, I think it was around 2018. Yeah, so I left my mom and my sister in Eastern Cape. So that was a food that will call up in Cape Town, right? So when res up in town, and so
thank you.
It's quite a very personal journey, but I'll be able to share it. So she was doing the rent because their phone, and so she's paying the rent, school fees, my groceries, my clothes, everything, right? And then so she took a pension in the Eastern Cape because she wanted to move, and then the hometown yake, which is in the Fort Beaufort. So she took a pension for education and kind of waited for imali zakhe, but again because it's a process, it takes time. So it takes time with no income and all of that. So it started affecting going. We didn't have a source of income at all. Second month, no school fees paid, no rent. Third month, started getting letters from the tenants, the landlord, addressing zonke tenants that are not paying and are behind the payments. So I started getting letters under the door. Well, okay, there's going to be an eviction if you don't pay within the next 7 days. But trying to call my mom, and then she was also waiting for Pretoria, so she couldn't say. And then even before those 7 days that I was given, so I think it was on third, fourth day. So I just saw people with Lemnyango, said, okay, time is up. So it was like that, and the landlord didn't open any room for conversation or for negotiations. Like, we've given you more than enough time. It's been 3 months, and all of that. So pack your things, we bet, right? So it was a very
dark moment.
Yeah, it was a very dark one. I was going through a hardship. I was going through a very difficult phase. My mom, I know my mom as well, but I wasn't there to experience or witness it with them. So in Goa, I also knew that Goa, because she has never missed a payment when it comes to part. So I could tell that it was a very dark one for the whole family. So I got evicted, but on that process, so I said, let me just call my mom and make a few phone calls. And my same so they gave me Ilan line. So I started calling my mom, and she was at church. I said, okay, because like as we speak. So I don't know. And then my aunt, so my mom said, no, I'll call Omakazi, just try and organize it back, and then go elandukeni eKhayelitsha uyohlala phana in the meantime singafumani. And on that very same day, I used to attend the church which is called the Calvary Chapel. They used to have a coffee shop, right? And so I went there, right? So one of the supervisors Zapayana is back on like a night abajongayo around the building, say, you know what, if away from transport we'll keep them up a store. If you transport was up, just go and organize transport, right? So Napoma, and then I went to the coffee shop. And when I got there, I was just so emotional, so I broke down. And so they had to close the shop, and they asked what happened. So I told them I was in Galena. So we actually prayed about it, saying, what, let's pray. And so it's a Bible Christian shop, right? So the scriptures are put again. So he showed me a scripture, and he said, a scripture, God assures you that even if it was but God is there in the midst of it. Just trust in God. Trust in God. Just trust in God. So we prayed, and then after that I said, okay, I feel much better now. So I went back, send for many transport you can go to Zindo. So I went back on the way there, and then God worked. So my mom just sent me a text, said, like on that same day that I was being evicted. So she said, just go to the supervisor, it's going to be processed within the next few minutes. So I went there, and payment is going to be done. And then she actually paid the money. And then she paid, like, in fact, for the whole year. I think it was around July, August, so she paid for the whole year, like rent as well, so that means I'll move on December, so that there's no issues or anything like that. And so it was a dark moment that I did not wish, even though it turned out whereby I'm still God, I have everything under control. But it was not a very nice experience at all.
Now I'm curious now. One version of yourself that had to die for the version of yourself now that is sitting next to me to be born?
It's that version of like ungakhuli mentally and not realizing that I'm actually an adult. I think I was so stuck with high school life, and how fun high school was, how much happy I was in high school, and then having Ubandi, because I always all my life I lived with my mom and my sister, right? So thank you so much.
Thank you.
Right, so
Thank you.
It was a huge transition having Bandi Suke and Izohlalela like right away. It took quite some time Ubandi kwazi uziqhela, like actually learn myself about like Timbani without my mom. Who am I without my mom? And when like for some time I got stuck to a very playful and immature mind, but to say like my mom is gonna do this, my mom. But I, especially like no better, I thought, you know what, like no one is coming to save me. My mom is there as a backup, but isn't when it's funayo. It's just myself. I have to do them myself. So Lena character that I have of being playful is doing as study serious, they're procrastinator with using it like iyanilibazisa. So I kind of have to like kill that one and kind of see the full potential of myself, so that ndizokwazi to be an adult, and then treat life as life. That I have to deal with ngendlela like abantu abadala deal with izinto ezinjalo.
Yes, there's a beautiful statement in Japanese culture that says we have three faces, three versions. The first face is the face that we show the world, and the second face is the face that we show to our family, to our colleagues, to everyone who's close to us. And the third face is the face that no one sees. Now, when you share all this, your journey and your story, I'm wondering, Goti, what version of you that no one gets to see?
I think love version Leo, it's the version that I also struggle with a lot. When I'm upset, when I am violent in my mind, like there's a storm going on, there's thunderstorm, get to do Majina. But I can sit here, but I'll be boiling Yabila. But I'm trying to compose myself. Ubandinga best out, and then it gets dangerous because I bottle is into up, and then you bottle that. When finally they explode, it becomes a problem because there's cleaner. I'm going to like or confrontational, or was like to say, you know what, Lendians like I don't like this. Stop Lendians and I don't like it. I and like I keep quiet.
But what do you think is the reason for that? What do you think is the reason that you don't want to confront Abantu? Or
I think it's a character flaw that I have. I don't know, maybe because I cannot even though so Mosha, I cannot say but but I'll keep quiet. You'll pick it up that okay, no, but if you didn't pick it up, that you will never know, because I can tolerate, I cannot pretend, but I can tolerate. Yeah, I can tolerate. We can sit, but inside, like corner, like I come down, and then when you finally burst out, you will not understand what happened. Gandhi, I Goku, like it stems from way back. So I hide that third side of me, that third face of me, like having to be out, be aggressive and all of that. So, but I didn't want to or funny, be violent or anything like that.
But let's talk about your business now. When you were starting out, did you know Guti you're gonna be where you at Ngoku? Or maybe your vision and your goals were greater than the level that you're at
Oh
were
no.
lesser?
Oh no, they were way below. They were way below.
Below.
Yeah, because I never visioned myself about this or like business because I am not a business-minded
Okay.
person. I know that I'm very crafty with the I'm very creative as well. So even up in Sevenza corner, I would create cakes and all of that, and then it got to a point whereby, like, I have a vision. I'm making a cake. I have a vision, but okay, I can already vision it. But okay, I see bench. But because of like rules and the procedures of landed was once about limited again.
Yeah, it limits your creativity.
Yeah, so I thought, you know what, and then my friend always said, you know what, you can take its skills, I could start something like he always told me that. I said, you know what, let me just try this as a side hustle. And then I tried it, made a few cakes, and it was just amazing the way people just pulled out for his support, and then they were there sending it designs, and I was actually pulling them out. So I thought, okay, this is going good, and then COVID came. See, so I thought, you know what, let me just resign from work and focus on this. With no startup finance, no startup equipment, nothing. But I thought, let me just start with what I have. So Nakala, and to be honest, I was actually looking for a container, because I was working in Switzerland, and the space wasn't that much, and we used the same kitchen for our daily house duties, chores, yonke into funeka kitchen usebenzisile, and in the kitchen. So I thought, like, if I can get a container. So that was the vision and the goal for me. Maybe in one container, maybe like containers are cooler. But God just decided to say, I have something greater. So yeah, I need a space, and there's a space in this room. It was a kitchen because it's a sink, it's not a feel, and it has a reception. So God just said, you know what, this is what you're gonna have. I'm gonna give you this because I have decided. So it was way below it goes up compared to work. So I just went from a 5 to 100.
What's the first thing that you baked that made you think, oh shit, I can actually do it?
It was actually in high school, with consumer studies. Nandibaleka physics. So I thought, let's go to consumer studies because I wanted to be an electrical engineer, right? But because of maths, physics, and the numbers and all of that, I said, let's try consumer studies. So I swapped physics and I went to consumer studies. And Payana, we're given the recipes. Followed the recipe, and we were doing a sponge cake, just a simple vanilla sponge cake. And so as we made a sponge cake, it came out. So the thing with the recipes, it's chemistry. You have to follow a recipe step by step. The mixing methods, if it ends in Tila, you do that. If it ends at 5, you do it 5 times. Just one step was possible, or you mess up the whole thing, right? So I followed that recipe the way it was, and then Puma, it was the most beautiful sponge cake. My consumer studies teacher, she was so blown away as well. Right? This was so good. It was so good. She used to call me when I'm a grade 10, I'm a grade 11, would be doing as practicals. Can you come and assist? I'm like, okay, this is good. And then people know me about cake, because when I tell one like these students. And then and then also what's this called as well, but okay, we are back. So it kind of stayed with me. So the recipes I took, I would go through recipes from school and do it, and they would come out actually nice. And into and it gives you that okay,
that validation.
Yeah. So I thought, okay, I can actually do this. So I stuck with that. And then ever since that, Puma consumer and I thought, you know what, I want to do a pastry, I want to be doing culinary, I want to go to culinary school. And so ever since then, because I can pay the egg.
Actually, when I go to the research now, your reviews are the top notch, and I just wish one day I could taste one of your cakes. I always ask this question to everyone who's running a business. If maybe you were to lose everything or everything that you worked for, and then you have to start over, where would you start and how would you start? Like, give me a blueprint.
if I were to lose everything that
If you were to lose everything and you only have like 1,000 rand in your pocket and you have to like start over, where would you start? Like how would you start?
I think because as I mentioned, I'm not a business minded person whereby okay, let me pack izinto ndiyami ndiye mall and then try and raise up capital if ngithengise phayana. I like being in my comfort zone, right? So if I have to make sales, like in endlini apha efonini ndiyapromota, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. I have to be at my space bese car. But because I'm also an introvert, so andinayo lando like yoma like in the and then so even though I can say if I can do this erenkini, go there ekuseni have iscones phayana, fresh scones abantu bangathatha phayana for uphunga and all that, it will sell. But I wouldn't be able with 1,000 rand to do that, even though that would be the initial idea. Okay, you know what, thengisa izinto, just do something. I'm thengisa. I think ayona blueprint that I have is I would just go back to work, sell myself out there with the experience I have, try and raise capital, try and raise a startup finance again, maybe give myself like 6 months, save, and then after that I'm going back to where I started, because also where I started is I didn't start in eninzi. I just started with an ordinary kitchen, a few baking pans, and the ingredients. So if I could just maybe raise capital for that, I'll start over where I started. And that space, and now I'll start at home again, because I saw how it worked out, so it's gonna work out again. So I got back at home, start doing it again.
Do you think, Nguti, all these people who have these great ideas, great business ideas, the only thing that is lacking it's a capital?
Yeah, I would. Capital, it falls. I would say 60% of the whole idea, because you need capital. The idea is there, everything is there, but the capital, it plays a very huge role, because you like we just we need imali. So the ideas are there. For myself, these are brilliant ideas. If I can just get 10 grand, if I can get 20 grand, I would be that would be my start. I also struggled with that a lot, and it also limits you a lot, because sometimes I wonder about the idea already, like it's alive, there's ways to start the idea without the capital, right? Capital it's gonna come to play. I'm not taking that away. But with what you have, you start with lentunayo. Be it ukala with social media, push into that, I come into practice, you grow your page so long because something is coming, right? You grow your page so long, have following, you market, so that when finally you have capital, then you know about usumeni start. But the capital because in order to make things happen, you need that capital. But I would advise that you start exactly where you are with what you have.
Do you remember your first customer?
Yes, I do. I'm still in contact with her. She stays next to Airport. So she's a very, very important customer. I always give her discounts by 10 because you don't have umsebenzi wakho, so you have to take izinto off internet, advertise, and also it chases abantu because abantu say, oh, I'm umsebenzi wakhe lona. So you don't have something, so you need into yakho, and then you just need that one customer booster. And then if you have that one cake, abantu say, okay, umsebenzi wakhe lona, we can see isandla sakhe sinjani, skills sakhe, right? So I posted on Facebook, I'm starting a business. Now's inspiration. Like I had inspo cakes, pictures which were not mine. Like you can choose best cake. I can do any cake. People were asking about, can you still have? I don't have. Cakes, yeah, and Gabinas. But despite your she said, can you make the cake? And it was a fruit cake. Can you make the cake? I said yes, of course. So she said, okay, can you make me this cake? I want it to be red velvet and then even a fruit with the berries up on the drippings. I said, okay, this is my first cake. So I started, and in my mind, I'm like, I cannot get this wrong. I have to nail this because this is my first order, and then everything that's gonna follow is on one up the cake. So I made the cake and I delivered, and my cousin was there to take content as well. So we delivered. It was for her mom. They loved the cake. They loved the cake so much, and the taste, it was just divine. It was beautiful. So like, oh, this was beautiful. And of course, cake, so I posted that. I posted reviews, feedback as well. Put it there, and then I started getting orders. So that first customer is very important.
Yeah, that's a good story.
Yeah.
If maybe you were to go back to Mvuzo, who was starting out the business, who only had the vision and the idea, but doesn't know what to do on the surface, what advice would you give him?
If I were, can you just repeat that?
If maybe you were to go back to Mvuzo, who was starting out the business, you understand? Like you after work, you try to save up some capital.
Yeah.
If you can go back to that person and give him advice, you understand? How would you, knowing the things that you know about business, what advice would you give him?
I would say, first of all, like, know your worth, right? I started very Lando yoba uyazi, like, you sell yourself short in a way. Yoba the prices are they are way below. You are only working just to take like ingredients, stock and all of that. But there's nothing that comes to you. It just rotates again. It goes to stock, with stock. You don't have anything to show for it, right? So I would say it's very important to study the market. Maybe do a short course with business. Do not be afraid of charging the worth your skills on us, right? Because I had a fear about, I'm gonna charge this much, and then oh yeah, and I won't have customers. But that doesn't work because the market is broad. That's why we have different categories and levels when it comes to the supermarkets. Like we have all ShopRite, we have all Woolworths, we have, right? So you have to know your market first, right? I would tell myself, okay, who do you want to sell to? Do you want to sell a cakes to everyone of university, or do you want to sell cakes to people who can afford cakes that are expensive and luxurious, right? Because I would say as cakes, I'm like, I can only charge 500, but when you look at the worth, like this is like 1.5. So who is it that you want to sell to? That question is going to unlock his needs, because if flow your money, it depends on target market yako, your clientele. I would tell myself, okay, let us target abantu, because we're going to be making luxurious cakes, nice cakes, like zinhle, they are aesthetic, because I'm using 5-star recipes, right? So now we are targeting just above average as a targeting abani. So if Umdu says, no, I cannot pay $2,000 for a cake, then it's their loss, right? So, but you do not compromise on the pricing yako and say, okay, how much do you have? Okay, like what was your budget? I can make this with the budget yako. If I have 500, can you do me this cake? We do not negotiate prices like in that way, right? So I would tell myself that stand your ground, know it market yako, know how to price ilandoga cakes zako. That is the major role, because I feel like I made the cakes needs, I didn't have much profit coming in of underpricing.
A good friend of mine once told me that Uguti, if you try to sell something to everyone, you might end up selling nothing.
Yes,
you understand? So you must find the people that you can. And
definitely.
Also going back to the questionnaire first, custom, I think it's very important to build the evidence. It's very important to build the evidence, because talking is cheap. You have to build. Take pictures.
Of course.
What's the biggest financial loss how do I ask this question now? The biggest financial mistake you made, sorry.
The biggest financial mistake is opening a business account very late, right? Having to separate a personal account to my business one. So everything would just go into this one account. As long as again account one, which was my FNP account. Whether ndifumana imali from someone uyanithumela like personal money ngenayo iya kula account, i-deposits ze-cakes and payments ze-cakes ziya kula account, so everything is mixed up there. So I don't know uba yiphi ndiyasebenzisa, and then also I just
can't even track
so I can't even track ke ngoku uba ndime njani, and like it was a huge loss because you think, okay, I have this much money and nayo khamba bafuna ndithenge ingredients, you find out ndishiyeke like maybe with a minus ngokuphelile imali because everything is there. Unable to separate and say, okay, lena yet deposit, these are fully paid cakes. So it layo a financial mistake. It cost me a lot because I couldn't separate my personal from my business, and then also, which is something in South struggling Shanghai with that discipline of knowing that imali cake, imali business, so I could be at home, do not take from the business side. No matter about like by 20 rand, that 20 rands, it's a lot of money for business. So no matter 20 rand, do not take away business. That a business, it does is with a business only. So I still struggle with law, though, like passing drive through on my age, KFC app, so
do you think what did that discipline came from? Being able to follow being able to follow your recipes. Go say, okay, you have to put 2 spoons of salt.
Yes.
Okay. Do you think what you adopted that discipline to?
I did, even though not fully. As a situation, I still struggle with your but I did because knowing that my business it's like you have to be precise when you have to be exact. Like you have to be deliberate with this into so I'm trying to adopt la mentality also to my own personal life, but you know what, let us do it deliberately. Let us stop spending randomly, like spur of the moment decisions whereby oh, what is that, let me get it, right? Let us be deliberate okay, even if iyatempta into, no matter how tempting it is, if bengayelanga loo nto phayana, leave that, you know, have like that principle about we do not just do anything like temporary feelings or just temporary decisions.
Sometimes I think we spend so much time trying to build a business or trying to build a life for Ifemeli. How do you balance ixesha lakho with ifemeli and balance ixesha with for a business?
That was another challenge, especially because you see like I'm working in a kitchen and then my family is here, which is my sister, my mom, my extended, my daughter is here, my partner Nailapa. So because they are here, I get to be distracted. The amount of time that I'm supposed to be investing upon business, it gets taken away by ixesha in family. Right? I don't have enough time for like my orders, my business. Sometimes I take few orders because and go spend time with family. Right? So it would affect me like I made a few sales because I said no, fully booked, but I did have space, but I didn't want to work like all weekend because I wanted to be done quickly. You spend a clash with the family. But as time went by, so I got like that third eye opened. This is your source of income. This is your bread. So if I would 10% on your business, you're gonna get out 10%, right? So the amount or investor your payana is what you're gonna get back, right? And
Yeah, for sure.
Right. So I started saying, okay, you know what, this is my bread, this is my source of income. So let me just go all out. I'll go to family. If there's no time, there's no time. I'm at work. Right. So it was a challenge, but I got you know what, let us prioritize the business.
Now, what's the biggest fear that you have that no one knows you have?
I think the biggest fear is that, like, business wise or personally, or
no, like maybe business wise or family, losing someone that you love, or maybe business wise losing a customer that means so much to you. What's the fear that you have that no one you have? It might be a light fear though. It might.
I don't think it's a life. I think it's losing my mom, because she's the only one, and she's the only parent I ever knew, because in Krusem right. So I think it's losing my mom. It's that fear. My cousin, my close cousin, she just lost his mom this past few weeks, right? And may her soul rest in peace. Mama, just like myself. So we're both Krusem, like my mama be too. We never really grew up with households whereby they had both parents, right? So I think it was like these fears to us, and then also seeing him go through that much pain, that anguish, the agony, it just reminds me about one day, like years njalo. But I think that is my biggest fear.
I think that's my biggest fear as well, because same as you, I was raised by a single parent, by Politica, and I think we spoke about this, no brother Untold, and I even asked Guti, what some of the challenges, or some of the things that he wished Guti he could have done if maybe there were two parents, and then he said it doesn't know. But for me, I don't feel like. I've never felt so good in need to that in life. Again, not because of mama or sense way all it being a span. I've never felt so good. I need time to be part of my life. Because everyone around him now grew up without a father, so it was a normal environment for him.
That's a mutual feeling.
But before I let you go, man, brother. I want to ask you, there's a game that I play which it's called Fast Question. So I will ask you a random question, you answer. Explain if you want to explain, but you don't have to explain.
Okay.
But before I play this game, if maybe this was your last meal, what would you want to have in your plate? If maybe this was your last lunch, what would you want to have in your plate? Now, if maybe you have to eat one meal for the rest of the year, or maybe for 2 years, what meal would you maybe go for?
I think eat Caesar salad, because I'm actually umkaba. So even a veg, if given the 2 years I can lose umkaba, Caesar salad, I would eat that.
Yeah. Okay, let's quickly play a game before I let you go, man. I don't want to hold you.
Okay, no problem.
The first question, this one is interesting. If maybe your daughter, she was a cake, what ingredients would she have inside her?
If she was a cake?
If she was a cake, what ingredients would make Eva?
Let's see. That's a very tricky question and difficult one. If she was a cake, what ingredients would she have? I think she would have amakanda, namasi. I think namasi, amakanda, namasi, and just oil, cooking oil as well. Because those are the ingredients that make cakes. So they're moist, right? Because so she's delicate. So I think they would quite resemble her very well. Yeah.
Okay. Second question. What's one thing that you don't care about that most people take it serious?
That I don't care about, that most people take it serious.
But for me, I think if you don't greet me, I don't care. Like I wouldn't I wouldn't even ask ukuthi hayi bokuthi ngambuyisanga izolo because I don't care if you greet me or not. Of which most people they take it serious. Mall. You know, so.
Yeah, ukwazi ungabulisa.
Sena ungabulisa ukuthi 10. So yeah, but I do greet though. I do greet about. Yeah.
I think now I'm gonna go with that one.
Yeah.
Like I don't care if like I didn't get it back.
Yeah.
Right. But I ngiyabulisa mna. If I uphendulanga, then it's you. Like I don't care if I uphendulanga. But it does go to if like let's say umuntu like omaziyo and then you pass each other on the streets and then like you're in good terms and then and then maybe you were like you're ready to like kind of greet and then greet. I think it would kind of hit, but I don't really care if I don't get a greeting back.
Third question. This is the third question. What do you think God puts you on this earth for? To do?
I think purpose is to help abanye abantu. Is to help abanye abantu. I'm here to help those who are less privileged, less fortunate than I am.
Okay.
To do a ministry. Yeah, okay. Also preach the gospel. Make sure that God is known in every room that you enter. Proclaim igama lakhe. But I think that's where I stand. That purpose is to help abantu, which is something that I enjoy doing as well. Being able to help abanye abantu, be it financially, helping them with the psychological support. Doesn't matter, but if you say, "Bah, thank you so much for the help," that's enough for me, and I draw so much strength from that, being able to help abanye abantu, because I believe whatever God has given us, it's for us to also share, because you could be on that other position where benguwe on the receiving end, that like ucela uncedo, right? So if you have something, it's for us to share, because God, everything asifumanayo God gives us, right? Asizenzanga ngokwethu ba let us have izinto ezithile. We didn't know uba sizoba nento ezithile ngexesha elithile, so izinto esinazo, it's because God decided uba I will give you this, I will bless you with this. So I cannot izinto nazo ndizivimbele for mna. So if I can help abanye abantu, I will gladly help abanye abantu, because I believe that is my purpose, to help abantu.
But where do you draw the line? Because I know abanye abantu, they can ask too much, especially when it comes to imali. Wonke umuntu unethi imali. And when they see ukuthi, oh, there's a gap here, oh, you always say yes, let me ask more. So where do you draw the line?
I struggle so much with Leo into being able to say no. Like even better, being able to say no, even though I know about hey, like in Zaubetakala, and my partner always says uba susolo kuvuma yonke into awunayo uzothini wena, and then I always prove it right that uba xa sendifana ndingamameli and then I brought someone imali bendingenayo, 2 days later ndiyabetakala, I need imali myself, I have to borrow imali ngoku mna ndingena ematyaleni. So it's still a learning process for me, being able to say no. Even though I said no, when I like doesn't explain about why I don't have, I was so like better back home London.
I'm sure she reminds you go to Ben chill
all the time.
One rule that your daughter is not allowed to break.
One rule.
She's not allowed to break this rule. She can maybe break others, fine, but this one rule she can never ever. There's quite a lot of rules that I make sure that I enforce. Like Suzanne, like into Chile, it's like Okalutuka, like don't break that rule. Like Sutuka, like we don't sway.
So suthuka, don't use those words. Noba sewudlala neetshomi zakho suthuka. Noba bayathuka okanye bathini, don't take out curse words emlonyeni wakho. And also like suthanda uhleka like abanye abantu, like even abanye abantwana, because I would realize that like lona maxesha if mhlambi umuntu ukhazi kule hlangu okanye like maybe ibhulukhwe iqophokile, and then like uzohleka loo nto ibhulukhwe kabani iqophokile, like maybe and uthetha umntana, but sure. Like I don't want it to grow with that, like I be comfortable laughing at like into ezinjalo, because next omnye akazuyazi uba like this is the only pants that lo mntu that has, like maybe chomi yakhe she doesn't have ezinye ilanduka, ezinye ibhulukhwe ozinxiba okanye iskate whatever, this is the only one she has, and then like azabe ehleka into. So lo leyo rule uba suthanda usubahleka abanye abantwana xa bengenazo izinto. If utya istoki umuncisa umntana, do not laugh xa engenazo istoki and all like into ezinjalo. So those are the major rules uba suthuka, and also like don't laugh at abanye abantwana.
I think that's a good answer.
Yeah.
That's a good answer. What's the last thing you prayed about? I think this is the last. Oh, not second last.
The last thing I prayed about was like this show coming here, like because I didn't know about like Zomanjani. I do that all the time. Like, I say, God, just be there. It could be when you also, as you mentioned that, like you, like Sakala also, I just prayed about that, like grow into something fruitful and made grow. If you have a vision, you want this to be a big show where you can also get like big names coming out. If that is what you want, like me being here, it also adds to growth. So God can, you lead me like kule show, like may it be indoor that like into yakhayo also na for abantu ababukeleyo also, may it be something that is gonna encourage and it's gonna uplift that is in a dark corner or who needed to hear certain words. So that was the last thing I prayed for, like God, can you just walk with me through the show, Lena, and then also can you also like sikelele, also like just bless it, because I know we start somewhere as well, because as you said, like Saikala, so I'm such a big fan of having to start something your own, because the fact that you started it means that you have a vision for it, and the vision, it's gonna come to life, low vision layer. So I started somewhere. I always related to myself because the kale somewhere, look at the business. Yeah, it's also not where I wanted to be yet, but looking at growth. Yeah, so I just said, God, can you just lead me, guide me through the show, Yonke?
Thank you so much, man, for that. Thank you so much. You know, I always get nervous when I invite people up. Even I think the last episode, Brother Mto, I was shaking. Even the nervous, I'm so nervous, I'm sweating inside, because I'm like, what if I mess up? What if maybe I don't say the right things? And enye into ke ngoku phinde kwenzeka izinto kubekho abantu abangqolayo ubone mhlawumbe ikamera engasebenzi, and I always see all those things as a sign ukuthi I'm supposed to do this. I always see low way, but when abantu abazayo kanje like Paul, those ways, it kind of makes me
and those are the obstacles, like like as is it distractions, like having a fear also, because it's actually the fear of the unknown, because you don't know about like in don't know but we are saying, but hey, what if like the mic didn't work, what if the camera we are going to do but it's like these obstacles that are meant to be there. You just have to surpass like Zindo, like Zindo nje like was retire because you have let go now, and regardless, like the show must go on.
Like it's go on. I think this is the last question, man. Your daughter, she's now 30 years or 25, sitting where I'm sitting now, having a lunch with you. what do you hope she says about the men that raised her?
What do I hope that she'd say about the men?
When she's 30 or 25, what do you hope she says about the men that raised her?
Hey, I'd hope that she'd say that, like Utata taught me his self-worth, so that she doesn't settle for nantoni na. And also naye xa reflector looking at her school life, high school years, izinto azenzileyo nengazenzanga, abe eyazi uba utata shaped me ndibe ile ndlela endiyiyo. I was never taken for granted because at home I got to experience like uthando in its full glory, to a point whereby I never felt a void yothando, but I have to be out on the streets looking for love, because at home there was sufficient of that love in all different ways and different levels. Right? And it bakhona that thin line between especially saying the choice, you got love at home, so you will not go out looking at the streets. But that love is not the same, because the love at home, you receive love in completion, in fullness. But let's say ufuna a partner, right? You can never compare the love when you are looking for a partner to the love at home, because
Yes.
it's love. Yes, it is love, but uthando partner is a bit different from uthando ozolufumana endlini. So I just hope that she would get like uthando in completion, in its fullness, that she never feels a void. Yoba, let me be out there, and search for love. Even though uthando ulufunayo is different from, but love, I received love and I know what love is. So if this is not love, say she's in a relationship and she can say this is not love,
she can easily spot it. This is not
So 25, 30 years sihleli, I would love ba akondo, like daddy, you have given me uthando, because uthando runs everything.
Thank you so much, man. Thank you so much. As much as I wanna go on and on and on, but unfortunately I have to let it go.
So let me go. After
the show, when it's all said and done, what do you wish people tell about you? Maybe your colleague or your friends or your family. What do you wish they tell about you?
That I had love. That I was always there. I cared. It's a very deep, profound question, but that I had love. I cared. I would take a piece of myself and suffer for abanye abantu. That I always showed up for myself, for those I love, for even strangers, if I can help, there wasn't matter. But that overall, that I had love.
Thank you so much, man. Thank you so much. We're out. Boom.
Some shared over laughter, others over deep conversations. In a world that moves fast, we pause to connect, to reflect, and to break bread together. This is more than just lunch. It's a journey into love, friendship, loyalty, and the stories that shape us. Every meal comes with a conversation, and every bite is a memory. So pull up a chair, take a seat, and let's talk. Welcome to Lunch Date with Mnoja Dinca.